let's say that someone's just, they're just starting out. I mean, there's a lot of people right now that are still just jumping into this whole idea about writing because it's much easier to get published now.
Right.
Um, what would you say to them? Let's talk about, because this may sound like we're saying that you don't want to be a part of a writers group at all. How can they choose whether that's going to be a good choice for them or whether they should just try to cultivate a small group of beta readers?
I think at the beginning of a writer's career, before they've published anything, going into one of those going into a writer's group is a good thing. It was a great thing for me. I treasure the time that I was part of that group, and a couple of the other groups that I was like, oh, this isn't for me. But I was part of that group for about 10 years, um, and they really helped shape me as a young writer. Um, um, I I published after I was part of that group, um, but it's good to be involved in a community of people that says yes, it's okay to write. As a matter of fact, you need to write every 2 weeks or every week and submit to the group. That is imperative. Um, I would never say to somebody, if you have the opportunity to join a writers group, don't ever go to one. You should go to one and see if it fits for you. You'll find out real fast if the personalities click. One of my beta readers that I have now was a member of that group. She bailed actually out of that group um, a little bit after I did, but we met there. She's one of my best friends in the world, and she is the very first one about that story that I sent out saying, "Hey, check this out," and she was like, "Really?" And so that's how. And she was scathing about it. She was like, "This is so beneath you. You are such a better writer than this. I don't know what you were thinking about when you did this." And I was like, "Oh." And then after she said that, I was able to step back and look at it. But you'll cultivate writer friends like that. One of the members of the group is a big name writer who gave me a couple of blurbs for my first couple of books. The contacts that you may or may not get in those early writers groups are great. Go do that. Some people find magical writers groups where everybody lifts each other's up, and treasure those. Um, find a couple of your friends that will be honest with you and not just shine you on and say, "Oh, you're the greatest thing ever." And talk to them about what kind of feedback you're looking for. That's the biggest thing, I think, is it, um, with beginning writers. When you give your work to somebody, be very, very upfront and honest about what kind of feedback you're looking for. Like with me, I don't, in general, before I give my work to my beta readers, I don't edit at all,
Mhm.
because I tend to hurt as much as I fix, and in some cases I will edit out the tension and the immediacy of the writing. And so one of the things that I require of my beta readers is tell me what not to change, because that's a problem for me. And so they'll give me, don't change this thing, or don't change this thing, and keep this because this is really gut wrenching my guts. The other thing that my beta readers are not allowed to do is they are not allowed to talk to me about other writers when critiquing, when talking about my work. If I need to fix something in my work, pick something else from that piece that's working. Say, hey, this thing that you did over here, do it to this over here, and it will shine. As
Mhm.
opposed to, well, Hemingway did this thing because I'm not Hemingway, or Robert Jordan did this thing. I'm so not trying to be Robert Jordan. Um, the thing that they are allowed to do is saying, "Hey, you're trying too hard to be Steven Erickson here or Harlan Ellison here. You should be You should be Todd Gallowglas here."
Yeah, I can I can definitely see that, because you can have that tendency to move outside of the voice that you're trying to get to, especially if you're running around chasing down trying to be this author or that author,
Yeah.
for sure.
And the other thing is as far as being other authors, is that's going to happen a lot when you're first starting out because you're going to emulate the authors, the writers that you like, and eventually all those will conglomerate into this wonderful stew that eventually becomes the writer that you're going to be.
Hmm. I know that I end up laughing at myself because I'll go back and start editing, and it's like, oh, you know what? I was reading this book at the time, and I see a lot of this kind of sentence structure and thing that I'm pulling through from some other writer because I'm just reading it at the time.
Thank you for listening, and come back next week for more. Please visit thebookeditorshow.com for show notes, links to guests, books and extras, and for information on how to be a guest on the show.